ministry is work, and not necessarily just acting like we're working or thinking we're working, but it's like nitty gritty, get down to it, get your hands dirty. And even the pastor should be stacking chairs and, vacuuming and even, just plugging in like that. And part of that too is just, ultimately the Lord grows a church, but he also honors good hard work. My grandfather's a retired minister, and his old school principles of filling out a 3x5 card for everybody that came to his church and every new person that came to his church, and calling those people throughout the week and trying to make a house visit. Those principles aren't antiquated. In a sense, we're trying to plant a new modern church that reaches generally millennials or younger families, younger people. What I've learned is that those principles that my grandfather employed that were successful 40, 50 years ago are still just as important. The benefit we have is we have computer database software. We got things that can help us out and make that a whole lot easier. We have email, and a lot of people communicate by email or Facebook or texting. But by and large, those hard work principles of never growing tired, never being satisfied, of trying to reach people on a daily, weekly basis of getting where they are and reaching out to them, that's not an antiquated thing.
It's a capital city, and so there are several differences of opinion. Things are definitely politically charged here, which is a different atmosphere than anything that I've grown up in or seen. So everything from we can't meet in a school and just it seems like everything. There's just red tape everywhere.
When I explain it to people that attend for a preview service, I kind of explain it just like a movie preview. But it's a great opportunity for people that are interested in Capstone to come check us out and see what we're about. The night before is usually a pretty late night, making sure everything last minute is squared away and ready to go. There's usually a trip or two to Staples to make sure everything's printed and ready to go for that.
Trip to U-Haul.
Right now we're renting. Been renting trailers from U-Haul for that.
Make sure that we're connecting with all of our volunteers everywhere, and
making sure we're communicated and that we have people in place that are going to serve, say, in kids ministry or as a greeter or with music. Sunday morning starts early. Luckily, I'm already on an early schedule, but at 6 a.m. We start loading up the trailer and we get everything in there, and we're at the venue, the place we're renting for church right now, at 7 a.m. and begin to set up sound, start going through sound check. The kids area is getting set up, making sure all our signage is out, putting the chairs out, making sure that we usually have a flyer and the communication card on each chair, as well as an invite card, and making sure that everything's in place for when it's go time. But we're blessed to have another couple, have a team that's come with us to kind of carry some of that load, to carry some of the burden of church planting. Andrew's kind of our executive guy, keeping track of numbers and finances, and it's a blessing to have that aspect of the ministry. And then Marisa is kind of our children's director, so they're a huge benefit to planting here in Helena.
I think probably the most challenging thing for me is with running the children's program and nursery and all. It's a big task to not only meet people and want people to come to your church, but also needing those volunteer positions filled with people that you know and trust and are willing to work with kids. So that's really a big challenge for me right now, for sure.
When God puts a call on your life and you realize that every soul is worth it, every conversation is worth it, every hardship is worth it, really changes how you view everything about your life, finances, family, you make Jesus the number one thing in your life, and everything else kind of fades in comparison. So for us, it's just been understanding that call, being obedient to that call, and following it no matter what. I mean, it was huge for us being here 2 months, not really knowing anybody, and putting on the Candy Jam event and having the place just packed out. And
Oh yeah.
you work your tail off and you pour your sweat and tears into something like that, and you don't know if anybody's going to show up or care. And to see God answer a prayer like that right off the bat, it's just like, you're where you're supposed to be, and that you're being faithful to the call that God's placed on your life. And that's a great place to be, is in the middle of the will of God.
Trying to figure out finances and how to be supported financially throughout the whole thing is definitely a challenge. Trying to give everything to planting a church, but also trying to work part-time and figuring out how I can support Courtney and the baby that's on the way. But if we can make church a place where there aren't any distractions and they can connect with Christ, that's, at the end of the day, that's why we go to Staples at 9 o'clock at night to make sure programs are printed. And that's why we start sweating on a Sunday morning setting up sound equipment. That's why we stack chairs. That's why we respond to 1,000 emails and step out of our comfort zone to meet people. It's so that we can see them come to a real understanding of what Christ has done for us. We love being associated with the MTSBC and the Southern Baptist Convention because of the excellent support. No other denomination supports missionaries as well as the SBC.
There's a real need in Montana for the gospel. People need hope here. Montana has one of the highest suicide rates in the whole country. And I honestly believe it's because people are without hope. They don't know the hope that can be found in Christ. And so the cooperative program allows people to go on mission trips and to be an active part of church planting and people being reached.
I don't think we would be able to be on the field in the capacity that we are without cooperative program funding. I don't think it would be possible. So yeah, it's huge. It's a massive part of being able to be planting a church in Helen, Montana.